General Science families. How are you? I hope you're well. We're going to start with experiment 4.1. There is a wooden pencil and you need to have a ruler. It asks for a wooden ruler. I don't have one, so we're going to just use the plastic. And then we'll be using just regular quarters. I've chosen to try 10 just to see how this experiment works. And of course, always eye protection. Also, because we're dealing with money, please make sure that as soon as you're done, make sure you wipe up your area and then also wash your hands really well. So the very first thing that we're gonna do is put the pencil down, and we're gonna put it about halfway through the ruler. And because it's a ruler and it's 12 inches, I know that 6 inches is about halfway through. Go ahead and place that down, and on one end, I'm going to put 1/4. And then on the other side, I'm going to take 1/2 and put it over here. Now, make your prediction. Whoops. Make your prediction. Which side do you think is going to be heavier? I have one here and one here. It's already kind of shown you which one is going to be heavier. It's the side with 2/4. So what we're going to do is simply roll this pencil closer to the 2/4. And we're going to see if there's ever a time when this single quarter can outlift these 2/4. Sounds like it's magic, but let's just see what happens. So we're just gonna slowly roll it. I'm at about 5.5 inches on the ruler right now. I'm down at 5, less than an inch away. Now the pencil and the ruler is showing that, let me move this a little bit closer, sorry, that this one, it was at 6 inches, and then when I slowly moved it to 5 inches, it changed, and the weight, the 1/4 is now heavier than, or is able to lift the 2/4. So I'm gonna put it back to 6 inches again. I'm gonna add 1 more quarter. And I'm going to, I would really recommend putting some of this into your science journal and making sure that you label things, because this ruler is that would represent a bar, something rigid or hard. A synonym for rigid would be hard. And then this pencil is what's called the fulcrum, and that's going to be the tipping point. That's going to be what is it's the part that doesn't move. The only time we're moving it is when I'm physically touching it to move it. It shouldn't be moving independent of itself. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this back. Remember that at 5 inches, when I went back just 1 inch, this went down. I have 3/4 over here and 1/4 over here now. I'm gonna slowly continue to move it. It went down to 4.5 inches, and it's still, this is heavier. The 3 are heavier. So at 4 inches, I moved a total of 2 inches, moved the fulcrum a total of 2 inches. Excuse me, I moved the bar a total of 2 inches. That allows the single quarter to pick up the 3/4, almost like magic. Gonna go back to 6, add a 4th. And now I'm going to slowly move the bar. I moved it 1 inch, and with 2/4, that allowed the 1/4 to lift up the 2/4. Now we have a total of 4/4, so I'm gonna go down to 4 inches. When I got to 4 inches last time, the single quarter was able to lift 3/4. Let's see how long it goes. So another 1/2 inch down, and I'm able to, with 1/4, lift 4/4. So let's go back to the center and simply repeat. We're at 5/4 now, and I'm just gonna pull 1/2 inch at a time. 5.5, 5. It's a good time to make a prediction to see if you're correct. 4.5, 4, still nothing. Because really, remember that it's 1 and then there's 5. 3.5. That was a tipping point. Let's go back to 6. Add yet another quarter. So now we have a total of 6 quarters. I know it's not going to work until at least 4, so I'm going to stop at 4. I'm moving the bar. I'm going to pull back to 3.5, and then all the way back to 3, and at exactly 3 inches, the single quarter is able to lift the 7 or the 6. Go back here, add one more. We have a total of 7 quarters now. Wait, 1. Yep, 7 quarters. I'm gonna go back to 3.5 because I know that that didn't lift earlier. At 3, a little under 3, that was able to, the single quarter was able to lift the 7. With 8 quarters, I'm gonna go to 3.5. Nothing happens. At 3, it's trying to happen. Let's go down to 2.5. And that very easily occurred. So now the single quarter is able to lift the 8 quarters. I'm going to push it back to 6 and add the final quarter. Pull it back down to about 3. Okay, we're not seeing any change. 2.5. And at 2.5, one single quarter can lift 9 quarters on this end. It's really important that you know what the pieces are to this puzzle and why is it, with using science language, why is it that when we moved the bar away from the smaller weight and toward the larger weight, and the fulcrum was closer to the large weight, why is that possible to lift? Or was that the variable that changed? That's what you want to look at. So again, I'd really encourage you to write this down into your science journal and make sure, because we were touching money, to go ahead and clean up your area and wash your hands. I hope you have a great day.